Sharing a segment from the book, Sharing a Study of Wisdom, brought forth by you. The book is part of a 3-book series received through the gifts of mediumship from collective consciousness. Sharing an enhanced study of Chapter 14, Clarity, read by the author. In the world of confusion lives clarity. Clarity is seeing through the eyes of grace. Clarity is understanding the truth of oneself. Clarity is your gift to see the world through the eyes of Source. For with clarity is your willingness to find a pathway that enhances clarity. How does one find clarity in confusion? How does one find clarity in feelings of overwhelmment and exhaustion? How does one find clarity when one's world feels anything but clear? And the answer is to see and experience life through the lens of non-judgment, through the lens of seeing one and others in the light of grace. Now, how would one do that when so much is going on in the world? Wars are happening. How can one see others in the light of grace? The answer is to see others and oneself with clearer vision, vision beyond what one can see. Think of the stars. Think of the moon. Think of being in a plane looking down upon the earth. It doesn't appear like it does standing on the ground. Do you think the stars see what you see? Do you think the moon sees what you see, being placed where they are placed? When one is looking at any one thing from the perspective of vision, would you agree that to change position, to become higher, let us say, would change how everything looks? Clarity is looking at things from a higher perspective. Think of a Ferris wheel. Standing on the ground looking up looks much different than being on the Ferris wheel and looking down. Clarity is only changing the expansion of sight and mind. Ponder for one moment the last time you needed an answer to something that was plaguing you. And you thought and thought, and the more you thought about it, the more unclear and cloudy it became. The more you thought about it, perhaps a greater sense of emotion came with it, only causing more confusion, not bringing the answer any closer. In fact, the more you thought about it, the more confused and anxious you became. To seek clarity in confusion is like knowing the answer is there, but not knowing how to change the lens, or change a perspective to see things more clearly. When you rise above your thoughts, it is like a Ferris wheel looking upon from the highest point. Vision can see for miles, certainly looking at a grander space than standing on the ground. We mention the stars and the moon, for when one focuses on what the moon would see from a place you stand, wisdom would come forth. When one focuses on the stars and places this focus on the answer that the stars would provide, light shines. We aren't kidding. When you leave thought in trying to solve clouded vision, you open a space for clarity. You open your higher mind, your mind that can see from a different point of view, a space where your mind can see a far-reaching vision of clarity. To tie it all in, when clarity is needed in and amongst confusion, leave your thoughts and become higher for light and wisdom. Become the receiver of the answers, knowing something higher is providing the answers. Clarity is saying, show me the way to clarity. And we promise It will be shown when one searches, leaving thought and emotions to rest. The answer is through the eyes of Source. Clarity is always provided when one searches from a place of higher perspective. To find clarity is knowing when things are out of focus. What do you need clarity on this day? Have you asked for guidance from a higher place, if you will? Have you thought that solving a problem with your mind was the answer? Clarity is like having a magnifying glass in your pocket, seeing things in the expansion of. Clarity is often found when one asks for guidance, guidance from one's inner essence, guidance from one's own intuition, guidance from one's own God within. And how is it that all the wisdom held within is knowing what is beyond what you can see? Just like the stars and the moon shining light to see on a dark night, your inner essence is your light of grace. Your God within is the wisdom of the moon, for all are one. When ones know to seek from a source that is able to see from a place greater than where one is standing, clarity is lived. Clarity is yours. Clarity is having a clear mind, clear thoughts, a grand knowing. It is truly seeing the world through the eyes of Source. The moon is clear. The stars are clear. Standing upon your own mountain top shines light in the valley. Just ponder this metaphor which only holds clarity. It is a metaphor, but intuitively you are clear in the experience of. Thank you for allowing me to share from the book, Sharing a Study of Wisdom brought forth by you. Thank you.